So, I have a confession to make here. Number one, OBS Studio is not responding. Number two, I forgot to add the music for that video right there. So, good thing I'm not going to get copyrighted because this is actually a good launch. Oh, goodness. OBS just crashed. Yes, I forgot to add the music. But, look at this. My green screen is properly set up. I'm like literally touching it right now. And you can't even see anything. It looks like I'm just reaching into the thing of space. Like I could probably touch. Oh no, I can't. That was a joke. And I also have another thing that I can say. Sorry. I'm only 17 seconds behind the SpaceX stream on my phone, which is a good thing. And for this stream, we have desktop audio finally. My computer is actually loading this time. What's going on? This is a crewed launch from SpaceX, so people are going up into space today.
That's a live view of Falcon.
I don't know if you guys can hear me over. We have desktop audio finally.
There we can see our four.
Okay, it needs to be turned up just a little bit.
Comfortable in their seats. Throughout the day, we have seen a lot of.
They're really not talking about anything special right now, so.
They're now things are starting to get a little more serious. They're really focusing in on the task at hand.
Oh boy, I'm so ready for this.
A little over 13 minutes.
Yeah, this is very exciting. If you've been following along, they do have a Netflix documentary following their journey all the way up until this point. And the crew has just been so incredible. It's been so amazing to watch them throughout this whole process. And very
I
excited
am ready
to see
for this
them
indeed.
strapped in their seats.
Dude, I can't wait. I have been waiting for so long for this launch. Oh, you guys can't see me anymore. I'm going to switch over and move myself over here. I don't know if this is going to mess me up, so I'm going to change it to stream 2 so you guys can't see me.
Falcon 9 did begin propellant loading on time at T-minus 35
Okay, I'm just
minutes.
going to go into studio mode real quick.
RP1 kerosene fuel onto
Oh,
the
it's
second
not.
stage is complete. That closed out right on time. Fuel loading is continuing on the larger first stage tank. It's about half full right now. That'll finish at T-minus 6 minutes. We ought to hear that call out on the webcast.
Okay, that's better.
We're continuing to load densified liquid oxygen onto the first stage and into the second stage tanks.
Wait.
Now the
Okay,
liquid
good.
oxygen load will wrap
I
up
can
at
cover
about
that.
T-minus 3 minutes.
There's a
on
little
first
light
stage,
right here,
T-minus 2 minutes on the second stage.
and
Now,
it looks like there's
now
a
that we
light
are into
above my
propellant
head,
loading,
so.
we cannot stop the countdown and try to launch later in the window. So if a problem arises that requires holding the countdown clock, those dreaded words, hold, 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 we don't want to hear. We would have to scrub from
Literally
the try
dreaded.
again.
That would be
We have a launch
horrible if we heard it
opportunity tomorrow,
today.
just a little bit later.
Because it's crew, and
if
we only have
conditions
11
allow.
minutes until launch. I
Conditions
think this
of
would be
Falcon 9 being go,
one of the
range is
closest
go. Weather. We've had great
until,
cooperation out of the Florida weather, both ground level, upper
scrub.
altitude, and around the world at the contingency landing sites. On the Dragon spacecraft, Dragon mission director and that team has reported no issues. They've done their communication.
So I think the weather for today is 90% go, which is literally amazing. Like that's the best you could possibly get, I think. One of the best.
You can see the 4-person crew strapped in and they are ready to
So
go.
yeah, over
Coming
there
up
you
in
can
about a
see
minute, we're gonna get final
the
instructions to the
crew.
T-minus 10 minutes. They're
They
gonna
are
configure
going
their
to
crew
space,
displays for launch, and that's a
obviously.
setup that'll give the crew insight into how the launch is proceeding.
Otherwise, what would we be doing here?
Then we'll get
Why
a
is
little
Jeff
closer to
Bezos
T-minus
not
5
on this
minutes.
ride?
We'll be into terminal count for the Dragon spacecraft. Dragon will go to internal power. We'll hear continued callouts on the countdown net as we get close to 0 and a liftoff. Now, next major event coming up right now, T-minus 10 minutes.
Oh, by the
That's
way,
it. Dragon
if
will
you
give
go
its final
to, I believe it's called
instructions.
heavensabove.com, you can see
We'll also
when
do a
Inspiration4
final
is going
series of checks of
over your
Falcon 9
sky, so you can
telemetry
see when it is.
against a
I'm going to actually
preset,
check mine real quick.
limits. Make sure that all
What's
systems
today?
are
Today's
go,
the
and
15th.
then we'll be moving from there into the closeouts on
Oh
propellant,
man, it's like in the
chilling
middle of the
into
night.
the engines to get ready for engine ignition down at about T-minus 2 seconds. Let's listen in on the countdown net for a minute.
Dragon, SpaceX, confirm crew displays are configured for launch.
SpaceX Dragon, our displays are configured for launch.
Woo! That's good.
Copy that, Dragon. And it has been an absolute honor to prepare you for this historic flight. Today, you are truly inspiring the world. We wish you a great mission, good luck, Godspeed, and enjoy the ride.
That is good. So the 3-word hold sequence is in
Okay,
effect.
it looks like we passed through another event, the T-minus 10-minute call up to the crew to reconfigure. That final message from the ground team
And
is
at
they get
10
ready
at T-minus
to
10 seconds,
have
launch control will
Inspiration4
not have
inspire the world.
anything to do anymore.
Falcon 9 side, we're
Like they
doing
will
the
be
last
hands
T-minus
off.
minute, T-minus 10-minute checks. And the next major event coming up, I think you've got that event.
Yeah, that was, I just want to note, that was SpaceX Core, which stands for the Crew Operations and Resource
Hey.
Engineer. That was the voice of Sarah Gillis.
Oh, by the way, I
and
forgot to
she
say.
is basically the primary
Hi.
resource
Sorry, I
for
didn't see
crew.
the chat in time. I was
Some,
reading a
excitement
little
there on the right-hand
script.
side of your screen as the crew, I think they're really starting to realize that they're going
50%
under 10 minutes.
of all
Now, the next
donations,
major event
if you
that we
donate
have
to me on
coming up
Patreon this
will
stream,
occur at
50% of that
T-minus
will
7
all go to
minutes.
this
You'll hear the call out for engine chill.
Inspiration
Engine
4.
chill is simply,
So,
as the name says, we
if
chill
you
down,
donate
some of the
$2,
hardware in the engine. We're
$1
actually going to
will go
flow a little bit of
to
the
Inspiration
super
4.
chilled,
If you donate
densified
50,
liquid oxygen,
25 goes to
through the
Inspiration 4,
turbopumps
and so
allow
on.
that hardware to,
You kind of get the point.
basically come down, the temperature come down. This allows us to avoid any
Just don't
thermal
donate
shock
like
to
a
the
cent.
hardware when the full flow
I don't know
of
if you
super
can,
chilled liquid
but-
oxygen occurs at startup. So there on your screen, Dragon Resilience with the Inspiration 4 crew strapped in their seats there at the top of the rocket. Once again, if
Oh,
you're
chat
just
died.
joining us, this is the first all-civilian mission to orbit, and
I
they
said hi to
are
you.
going to space in 7.5 minutes.
That's fine with
They will
me.
be ascending to an
You just
altitude
reminded me,
of
because you're the only one
575
that's actually
kilometers above
donated
Earth
to me on my
and
Patreon.
orbiting Earth at that altitude for 3 days. There's that crew there on your screen. Far left seat is Chris Zembrowski. Next to him, Dr. Cyan Proctor, the pilot.
You can
Next to
believe
her to the
that.
right,
I'm
Commander
fine with.
Jared Isaacman, and to the right of Jared,
No, I don't
Haley
need them. They're
Arsenault,
not due until Monday.
the medical officer.
Stage 1 engine chill has started.
That's a good
All
call
right,
out.
there's that call that stage 1 engine chill has started.
We don't really have a good view, but right now at the base of the Falcon 9, the 9 Merlin engines are beginning to vent a little bit of liquid oxygen overboard down into that flame bucket. As Kate says, that's chilling in the turbo pumps in preparation for going to high-speed flow at T-minus 2 seconds.
Lab Padre
Nice
chat
view
is
on
going
top of the fixed service structure,
amazing
looking
right now.
down at Dragon. The transporter erector, or strongback, is currently still clamped onto the second stage right next to the vehicle. We'll see that retract starting about 4.5 minutes before launch when the arms open up, and then the strongback will recline away a couple of degrees. What we're
Stage
getting
1
ready for
RP1 load complete.
right now is that call out.
Stage 1
right on time.
RP1 load
The
has
fuel load,
completed.
RP1 kerosene, refined petroleum 1, rocket propellant 1 grade, is loaded onto the first stage. So that leaves us with just liquid oxygen loading continuing on both first and
I'm gonna
second
make sure
stage.
there's nothing
You can see
left.
that moist Florida air stage. And you can see that moist chilled down liquid
Okay,
oxygen
545
tanks.
is the
And
closest
you
I
can see
can
the
get.
mist coming off as the moisture, the humidity in the air condenses and gives you those clouds.
Yeah, that super chilled liquid oxygen coming into contact with the ambient Florida air, so creates these puffs of white clouds. As John said, completely normal. In fact, we will be seeing more of
On
those
your birthday,
once
I'll
LOX
donate your
load
birthday
completes
gift.
and those lines are closed off to the vehicle. Now, coming up in just about 10 seconds, we should be hearing the call that Dragon has been transitioned to its terminal count configuration.
I feel like I was just gonna say something. They are going just to orbit.
Dragon
for
has
3 days.
transitioned to configure for terminal count.
Yay,
Falcon
that
9
is
tanks
good.
are pressurizing for strong back retract.
Yep, that's good.
Everything continuing to go on schedule. We're beginning to pressurize the tanks. That'll help stiffen the second stage up as the 2 hydraulic clamp arms will open up coming up here very shortly.
Strong back is lowering.
Why do you have... I don't have much stream delay. I just wasn't looking at chat.
As you can see on the timeline there, at the bottom of your screen,
Because I have other
the
things to
strong
look
back
at.
retraction is the next major event. In fact, the last physical event or modification to the pad prior to liftoff. Falcon 9 is nearly fully loaded with almost 1 million pounds of liquid kerosene.
We're
and
getting
liquid
closer.
oxygen.
I'm going to check
That liquid
into
oxygen is what
the
we see venting there,
Everyday Astronaut
those white clouds.
stream.
All right, and there on your screen, you can see that the strong back is beginning to retract.
Okay, I'll kick
And
you out
Kate,
of here.
that
You do
strong back
realize
will
that.
move back just a couple of degrees you see here. Then at T0, when the Falcon 9 sends the liftoff command to the ground to release it, hydraulics will bring that strong back the rest of the way to about
Yeah,
a
he doesn't really have a
45-degree
good view.
position
I mean,
at
he
liftoff.
does.
Stage 1 locks load complete.
There we
Got
go.
the
Stage
call
1
out
locks
right
load
on
complete.
time. First stage liquid oxygen loading is
Sorry, let me get
complete.
back to chat.
Shutting
If you're
down the ground
chatting,
pumps.
I can't see it.
We're
so.
down to just loading second stage liquid oxygen.
And now, under 3 minutes until the launch of Inspiration4.
Dragon has transitioned to terminal count and is on internal power.
All right, and there's that call out that Dragon is now running on its own power. It is no longer connected to the power systems of Pad 39A. As you just heard, the crowd is super excited here at SpaceX headquarters
There we
in
go.
Hawthorne, California, as we are now under 2.5 minutes until the launch of the Inspiration4 crew. That crew there can be seen on the right-hand side of your screen, buckled in and ready to go.
Two minutes. Whoa, what is that camera? That camera was dying.
Stage 2 locks load complete.
That is good.
And there's the call that stage 2 LOX load is
Dragon
complete.
is an auto idle.
Falcon is now fully loaded with all of its
Gas
propellants.
closeout will begin shortly. Expect loud venting.
Announcement to let the crew know that as we vent off various lines on the launch pad, we'll hear some loud
90
noises.
seconds.
Let the crew know that's planned. We're also right now draining the liquid oxygen out of the transporter erector, draining the lines, getting ready for launch.
Oh man, I
Waiting
can't.
for the startup call at T-minus 1
I
minute.
can't wait. I'm like dying right now. Just launch this, please. 60 seconds.
FPS is on. Falcon 9 is in startup.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
You can
45.
We're inside 1 minute.
Go for launch.
40.
Inspiration4 is go for launch. Punch it, SpaceX.
Punch it, SpaceX. That is what we want to hear. 30.
Calling
30
down.
seconds.
Punch it, SpaceX.
20. 15.
15 seconds.
10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 2. 1. 0. Ignition. And liftoff. Go Inspiration4. You are going to space. One, one alpha.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Shut up or I'll say your real name.
Plus 30 seconds. Callouts indicate nominal. Historic mission flying the Inspiration4 crew. Onboard Dragon and Falcon 9.
They're going to space.
We're into the throttle down, into the throttle bucket.
5 kilometers.
Throttle down.
Throttling down for max Q.
Throttling down in preparation for the period of maximum dynamic pressure.
That's the point. If I put you in timeout, you're in timeout. Now shut up. Ha.
Stage 1 throttle up.
We're through the period of maximum
Stage
dynamic
1
pressure.
throttle up.
We're
Copy, 1
throttled
Bravo.
back up, and 1 Bravo, the call out from space. That's one of the abort sequences. That is a nominal call. Everything continues to be good. Looks like a smooth
Okay,
ride
I'll
for
stop
the
putting you in
crew.
timeout after this one. Because Brom 2 should be good now. So you can use that account. Just stay good.
Okay, we heard the call out. MVAC-D is chilling. We're beginning to get the...
I don't care if you're too powerful. I can just time you out again.
We're passing
Now
through
listen to
3
what my
Gs
message said.
acceleration. Everything continues to look nominal.
No.
Merlin
Stage
engines are
1
throttling
throttle
down
down.
for G limiting. 4 Gs, we're holding it there for the crew.
4
Major
Gs.
event coming up will be main engine
my
cutoff,
goodness.
followed by stage
It's not on
separation,
fire.
looking at the second stage engine nozzle, and then ignition of the second stage.
Miko,
And Miko.
you saw that on the camera. That was kind of cool. Stage separation confirmed. Second engine startup. Would you please just shut up?
Another kick in the G's there as it ignited. Officially, the Inspiration4 crew are now on their way to space. First stage booster there on the left-hand side of your screen is making its way back down to Earth. The grid fins have popped out to assist with the steering. It will be making a landing attempt on our drone ship. Just read the instructions, which is parked out and holding position in the Atlantic
All right,
Ocean.
so as you can see here, the stage 1 booster is heading back to Earth for its landing on, just read the instructions, drone ship.
And it's making its way back to Earth. The velocity of the first stage
SpaceX trajectory nominal
is being tracked on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. On the right-hand side of your screen is a view of our second stage Merlin vacuum engine. On the opposite end of that engine is
I'm gonna
the
kick you
second
from the
stage
stream
and the
again.
crew, which sits on top of the second stage. Everything looks to be going normal. Normally with that.
Normal. Oh, yo said normal. Yo said normal.
We also have awesome views of the great inside of their capsule as well.
He almost said normal.
During first stage ascent, I saw Dr.
Stage
Cyan
2
Proctor.
propulsion nominal.
I'm pretty sure I saw Dr. Cyan Proctor give us a 2 thumbs up. I'm sure she enjoyed this
good
ride that
solid
she's been
potato
waiting
right
for
there.
her entire life.
One notable thing too is we're getting some twilight views. The sun just set in Florida, but we're high enough up where the light around the horizon is also reflecting off of very high altitude objects, such as the first and second stages.
Dragon SpaceX trajectory nominal.
Love to hear that call out. Trajectory nominal from the guidance engineer. Also notice we're Really up there now, well past 100 kilometers.
Acquisition of signal, New Hampshire.
Just before that view switched, we saw some teammate
New
fist
Hampshire
bumps going on
has
there inside of the
ground
cabin.
communications.
Yeah, they look like they're having a fun ride there. And their journey isn't over.
Oh.
We've got about 7 more minutes until
I'll switch to,
Dragon separates from the second stage.
Yes, next milestone for this mission is actually going to be happening on the first stage. It's going to be performing a re-entry burn that's going to be coming up around the T+7 minute and 30-second mark. That
Usually
burn
people
is
don't really
used
care
to
about the
slow down the first stage
second
before it
stage
re-enters
telemetry
the
until
denser
stage
parts
1
of the
lands.
atmosphere.
So I'll let you see the stage 1
A few minutes
telemetry
later,
over
it'll
there.
execute a landing burn and make an attempt to land on our drone ship that's currently parked in the Atlantic Ocean.
Dragon SpaceX, trajectory nominal.
That's what we want to hear.
Dragon copies.
So far,
Sorry.
I was just going to say, so far, everything looking great for the Inspiration4 crew. Hearing that everything is proceeding nominally there with the second stage, which is what you see on the right-hand side. That
H2 propulsion is nominal.
I was just going to say that MVAC engine we just heard now is looking nominal.
About a minute left to go before the first stage performs its first burn.
You can see those nitrogen thrusters on the side, on the left-hand
And
side
on
of the
your
screen.
left-hand side, looking at the first stage, you may see those white puffs. Those are the.
Are you
nitrogen
serious?
puffs,
I try to
heavy
talk about a
steering
topic and they
guides,
talk right over me about the
so
topic.
basically-
I didn't.
Trajectory nominal.
basically is the
So you can
altitude
see those nitrogen thrusters on the side there. I'll just mute them for a good solid second. You can see those nitrogen thrusters on the side. Never mind.
I think I see some more thumbs up there. Dr. Proctor is clearly excited that she's finally in space. Again, this mission will be orbiting Earth for 3 days, and they will be at an altitude of 575 kilometers.
If it
which,
lands,
if I remember correctly,
oh
Donna,
sorry,
you
I
said
forgot
that
about
that
the
is the
telemetry.
distance from Los Angeles to the Golden Gate Bridge.
There you go. They're going to get there a lot faster.
Wait, I didn't hear what they said.
Right now,
Entry burn.
So what you're seeing on screen on the left-hand side is the entry burns, the first of 2 burns on the first stage. Again, this
Actually,
first
wait,
stage
no, I'm
has
gonna go
already
back to this
separated
view.
from the
I keep
second
changing
stage.
this,
So
I
the
know.
first stage is making
And
its way
entry
back
burn
to
shut
Earth, trying
down.
to land, and the second stage, everything is going well. It is headed into orbit with the crew on board.
Actually, there on your screen, you can see a sunrise horizon there with planet Earth just behind the glowing MVAC engine.
Okay, that's a cool
Stage
view.
2 is in terminal guidance.
call out stage 2 and terminal guidance. We're
Whoa.
at the altitude. We're working the angular momentum we need to get into the right orbit. And if you're wondering, crew's pulling about 3.5 Gs right now, less than they took on the first stage flight.
So in about
3.5
15 seconds, we are
Gs.
expecting
Yeesh.
Copy,
the-
Shannon.
We are
Throttle
expecting
down.
the MVAC to throttle down and cut off in an event called second engine cutoff, and then we'll wait for the confirmation of good orbit. At the same time, the first stage will be
Cut off?
landing burn. And here we have the MVAC. We just saw that it
And
shut off
Pico.
its engine.
Stage 1, landing burn.
Seco. And here we go. Landing burn startup, I think is what I heard.
Open insertion.
Good orbital insertion.
Phenomenal orbit insertion. That's amazing news for Inspiration4 crew.
What about the landing? Okay, look at the telemetry on the side. Speed is 100 kilometers an hour at 0 kilometers. 49 kilometers an hour. Down leg.
Come before, and many are about to follow. The door's opening now, and it's pretty incredible.
Stage 1, landing is confirmed.
Launch escape system is disarmed.
That is everything that we wanted to hear within about a minute there.
We just heard from Jared thanking everyone for
I didn't hear Jared's message. I want to go back and hear it. But that was good right there. So they are in a nominal orbit, and at this point, we are waiting for the Dragon deploy.
In a few minutes here, we'll separate from the second stage, and then shortly after that, we'll begin opening that nose cone. At the same time, we landed our first stage on the drone ship, which is super exciting.
As if the second stage action wasn't exciting enough.
Right.
We didn't see any views from that first stage. Sad.
So there's that MVAC engine, like we mentioned before. It has already shut down in an event known as second engine cutoff. And the crew are now gliding, if you will.
Now, one thing right now is we're coming up just under 11 minutes in the flight. We're waiting another minute and a half or so before we get into the separation sequence. The second stage is going through a series of events where we make sure that gases are all pushed out of the system. There aren't any what they call disturbance torques. We want to make sure that the second
I
stage
should
is
probably
very stable,
switch back
quiet,
over to
it's
this
not
view.
moving around, it's not doing anything. So we give it a
I'm
few
also
minutes,
gonna
then we
take
vent everything down, then go into quiet mode.
this
Then Dragon
camera.
will send the command to separate itself from the Falcon 9. It'll be pushed away. Falcon 9
There we
stays in
go.
orbit for a while till it eventually comes back to Earth.
That way you guys
Dragon
can see
moves
the
on its
time.
way.
Yeah, John, you talked about the terminal count earlier today, and this is almost similar to that. It's like another check before the next event that happens.
The beauty of the countdown.
We're about 30 seconds away from
Oh, good.
separation of
The
Dragon
countdown
from the
clock
second
stopped
stage.
there for a second.
The
That's like,
view on the left
what?
side of the screen is a view of the
Was there an
outside section
abort?
of Dragon. So it's the sort of back end, the trunk section of the Dragon. So when we do see separation, we'll see that kind of push away from.
So
the
they're
second
in
stage
space right
and,
now,
make its way into
and they're just gliding. They're probably having the greatest of times right now. We are coming up on that deploy
Once again, the
sequence
Inspiration4 has lifted off from pad 39A.
right about
They
any
are
moment now.
in orbit around Earth,
And there is the Dragon deployed. Separation confirmed, visually confirmed.
We gave you a great ride to orbit. Enjoy your time on orbit, and we look forward to you flying again with SpaceX.
And copy that, Garrus. We really appreciate everyone's help back in LCC.
That was the voice of SpaceX Chief Engineer Bill Gerstenmayer communicating with Inspiration4 Commander Jared Isaacman.
Now they're going to start using that beeping communication method. I like that. Beep! It's kind of funny when they use it.
So Dragon has separated away from the second stage, and that's the view that we have on the
Beep.
left-hand side of your screen.
Boop.
A lot of space there.
Expected
the
loss of
next
signal Bermuda and New Hampshire.
And then the next event that we are anticipating is the opening.
Dragon SpaceX, nominal dehumidifier activation and service section Draco checkouts.
We're
Nominal.
going to open up that nose
And copy
cone.
that, Sarah. We show team.
So we heard the call out, nominal Draco checkouts after separation.
And there's that first
Which is a
view
good
that
thing.
we have over the shoulders of
No, I'm not crying.
Commander Jared
There's something in
Isaacman
my
and
eye.
pilot
I can't
Cyan
see.
Proctor. Dr. Cyan Proctor is on the right-hand side, and Jared is on the left-hand side. And this is their dashboard for the next 3 days. These touch screens provide them all of the telemetry.
So
data and
I think the
information,
nose cone should be
about the
opening up
systems on board
here
Dragon,
any minute.
that they can interact with while on orbit.
Oh,
And
we
I
can
think
see
I'm-
the zero-G indicator
It
floating around.
And it looks like it is a little golden retriever.
Oh, like the golden retriever assistance dogs at St. Jude Children's
Yeah.
Hospital. That is
Ah, smart. Smart,
Oh, I
smart,
love it.
smart.
5th crew member on board with the Inspiration4 crew.
They can fit 5 members in there.
So in a few
They
seconds
can
here,
now,
we are
apparently.
expecting the nose cone to open up, and hopefully
Sorry.
we'll be able to see the first views of the Dragon cupola. in
That's what I'm
space.
waiting for. Is the cupola.
There we can see that they have just opened up their visors.
And there is a forward hatch inside of Dragon between the cupola and the crew. So when the nose cone does deploy, they won't immediately get to see out the cupola.
Is
but
that,
once they get out of their
what's her face?
seats,
Gwen Shotwell?
Open up that hatch.
I
they'll
think
get
that's
some
how you say her
incredible
name.
views
Gwen.
of space.
Yeah,
And on your
Gwen.
right-hand screen is Mission Control Hawthorne at SpaceX headquarters here.
Once again, the cupola is the observation dome that was installed. It's brand new hardware to this mission.
At this point, I'm just
It
waiting
is
for
in place of what was
the cupola
the
to
docking
open,
adapter,
and then I think that's when
or excuse me, the
I
docking
will
mechanism
stop.
that allowed Crew Dragon to previously dock with the International Space Station.
Hopefully.
Due to the fact that the space station is not our destination today, we were able to pull out that docking mechanism and insert the cupola, which will basically provide a 360 view of space for our passengers inside Crew Dragon Resilience here, which I cannot wait for our first views of the cupola. You know, everything that we've seen on the ground here is just incredible, and you know, to see it actually in action with those 360 views is going to be breathtaking for us. I can't even imagine what it might be like to actually experience it in person.
Yeah, this is going to be incredible, and I can't wait for them to get the first look out, and hopefully we'll
lots of signal, Newfoundland.
Hopefully we'll get to see some of their reactions when they first look out that window.
Yeah, so if you are just joining us, this is the Inspiration4 mission, the first all civilian crew into space. The team had a nominal ascent out of Pad 39A in Kennedy Space Center and are currently in orbit around the Earth.
Yeah, what an incredible place to be in right now when we can say we have now put 4 civilians into space, into orbit. It's been an incredible journey for us to get here. You know, we didn't do this alone. There's a lot of history working with our partners, NASA, to get us to this point. A lot of efforts with reusability and reflying vehicles, which we've seen on this mission particularly. We've reflown the booster 3 times. Dragon, we flew for a second time here. First flew on Crew 1 last year. And now Jared, Cyan, Chris, and Haley are out in space.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Just the fact that these are normal, regular people, non-professional astronauts, and they're now in space. And
acquisition signal, Okanger.
And it's just wonderful to know that the access to space has opened up. I believe in the note that Jared relayed back to ground. He said that the door is wide open and the view is spectacular. So of course they can't quite see out through the dome just yet, as we mentioned before. But metaphorically, it must be an incredible feeling to be on board Crew Dragon at this moment.
I bet everyone's super jealous of Haley and her window seat right now.
Right.
She can just turn to her left and see everything.
Chris also has a window seat.
Well, yeah.
Speaking of window seats, we are approaching the coast of Ireland. We're 249 kilometers up, so we're heading from the 200 kilometers where we injected to 575, and then we'll begin circularizing the orbit. But more importantly, we got into contact with the ground station in England, and they confirmed the nose cone is open.
Oh, that is something
So
good.
another major event, the
Turn
hooks
on
that
my
hold it
camera
down have
here.
opened up, and then the nose cone deploys itself up.
That
on
is
its
something
actuator.
good.
So that exposes the cupola, and we're going to see if we might get any kind of view here before we sign off.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, we aren't going to the International Space Station. We're actually just going out into space, into orbit. So they will be doing a couple burns. Another one will be, or the first one will be 45 minutes into flight, and then another 90 minutes into flight, and that'll take them to their final orbit of 575 kilometers away from Earth.
So at this point, it sounds like we're actually not going to be able to get views of the nose cone opening and of that
Oh,
cupola.
sad.
So unfortunately, we won't be able to bring that to you live at the moment. However, we will be providing that footage once it becomes available, and the four of us are super excited to see what our four Inspiration4 astronauts
Well, that means
are
that
going
I
to
will
be seeing
have
over the
to
next 3 days.
mute the desktop audio, number one. And number two, I will have to sign off for today because that's what I was waiting for. Something looked off there. That would be my dog. No, not the thing that was off. Posey, shush. I gotta go feed him, and I have to leave soon. So, follow Dragon Tracker. That would be kind of cool. So I will have to sign off for today. My dog is barking because he wants me to feed him. So I have to go here. I will see you all for the next launch, which I don't think is planned for any time soon yet. I think I'm looking right now. Upcoming, not CRS-23. No planned launches besides Crew 3. Which I will not be able to stream that. That's pretty late at night for me. Oh, SpaceX is ending their stream. Well, that means I have to end my stream too. So, I will see you all later in the next video. And until next time, peace. I don't know. See y'all later.